Alright, so this is a video on how to recover files from a hard drive that is either corrupt or failing in some way, not booting to Windows. And this is one solution that you can try if you want to recover some files that are important to you, and then maybe wipe the hard drive and try to set it up as system storage, or try to install another operating system onto a fresh drive. So I'll just demonstrate the problem with this laptop, or with this hard drive, and see if that's something that is related to your problem. And then I'll show you one way to recover files and resume using the hard drive until it fails again, if and when. Okay, in this case, the hard drive's going between blue screen, the error code, and doing this, which is preparing automatic repair. And diagnosing your PC. Okay. Just some automatic system repairs built into Windows. So if you're getting a message like this, or any other kind of blue screen with an error code, it says automatic repair, your PC did not start correctly, press restart. You can go to advanced options, and if you don't have a system restore point or whatever, like it's just not working out for you. In this case, it's not really working out. I don't think I'll be able to recover it, and it's just easier for me to do a backup on the drive and then reinstall Windows. So this is one thing that you can do. Okay, so we'll start by turning off the laptop. Unplugging it. Removing the battery. And in the case of this Lenovo ThinkPad 510, the hard drive is just right here. Other laptops might be different, other desktops might be different, but the principle is the same. And remove the hard drive. Okay, I'll take my other laptop, remove the battery, and we'll take out the hard drive in this laptop. And one thing that I didn't mention, and hopefully that I'll make an intro for before we get to this point, is that in this particular laptop we have a mSATA solid-state drive installed as the boot drive, so that's underneath the keyboard here, and that will allow us to boot into Windows and take a look at this hard drive. So I've taken out the storage drive, and we're putting in the hard drive that had the corrupted files, or whatever, the failing hard drive. I'm going to plug that in, and just so it stays in place, we'll put the cover back on. Okay. Battery back in. Plug it in for power. And let's boot it on. And I'll demonstrate one more thing too, actually. Just in case, I don't know what kind of computer setup you're running, or if you're not too sure. A good troubleshooting method is to boot into BIOS before, in this case, didn't get a chance to boot into BIOS, but I know that the solid state drive is the number one in the boot order, so it will boot to that first, and it won't try to boot from the corrupted drive. So I'll put my hand up here just to, I might cut in a different clip a little bit later on just to demonstrate how to change the boot order in BIOS in case you don't know. So now that we have Windows loaded up, just zoom in and change, be able to see the screen a little bit here. Okay. So in this case we can just open File Manager or File Explorer, click on this PC, and it looks like the hard drive's not showing up at this point, so I'm just going to stop the video and take a look and come back and explain how we got to the hard drive. Okay, so just as I stopped recording, Windows registered the hard drive on its own, so sometimes you just have to wait a moment and it will recognize the drive just like it does for an external hard drive, SD card, USB drive, etc. So you can see now that we have our Windows boot drive here, and that's indicated by the little Windows logo. And we have our corrupted hard drive here, which looks like the E drive or the D drive, system reserved. So we'll go into the E drive, and as you can see here, we have access to all the files. So if there's anything that you wanted to pull off, go into Users, and if you get this message, you can just click Continue. And it might take a moment. Okay, so now we have access to pictures, desktop, documents, downloads, etc. You can search through the entire drive and pull out whatever you want. And in this case, whether you have an external hard drive, a USB drive, a second hard drive, whatever, that you can pull and back up all the files onto, you can start doing that now. So in this case I have an external hard drive I'm going to plug in. And what I will do, open up that folder, create a new folder, and we'll just call it Backup T530, and I'll just start dragging and dropping files that I want to keep. So I actually do have to do this in this instance. It's not just a demonstration. So I think I'll start doing that. And then I'll show one way to wipe the hard drive once you're done, so you can start trying to use it again. So while I'm waiting for some files to transfer over to the external hard drive, I'm just going to demonstrate how to get into BIOS on a different ThinkPad. This differs for every device, every laptop, desktop. Best bet is just to Google your particular model, how to get into BIOS, if you don't already know. In this case, we have a ThinkVantage button, or the Enter key that we can hit. Okay, we'll hit F1 to get into BIOS. Alright. So once you are in BIOS, you want to find out where the boot order is. And in this case, it's called Startup. So navigate over, and we have boot. We'll hit enter there to see what kind of list we have. So in this case, we have another mSATA SSD installed underneath the keyboard. And as you can see, that's the #1 boot drive. The second one is the USB, which I use to boot Windows. The third one is the hard drive. In this case, if you don't know which one's your hard drive or which one's your solid state drive, etc., you can look at this number right here, this product or serial number, and try to match it up with what's printed on your hard drive label. Or sometimes it'll have a brand name like Toshiba. In this case, Micron is the mSATA SSD. The hard drive, I'm not too sure. It could be Seagate, whatever. I can't remember. But if you're not too sure, just look at your hard drive and try to match up the numbers. And if you are sure, just make sure that it's not number 1 in the boot order, and then you're good to go. That way it'll show up as an external drive when you boot into Windows, like we did before. So if you do have to change the order, you should have some instructions somewhere in BIOS that'll tell you what to do. And once you're done, just always remember to save and exit, and then resume booting Windows. Okay, so after the files are done transferring here, we'll finish up the video, and I'll try to include anything that I might have forgotten. Alright, so now that we have everything backed up onto the external hard drive, I'll show you one thing that I like to do just to clear off the old hard drive so I can restart and try using it with other devices. So we'll unplug the external hard drive, and we'll zoom in here, get a good view of the desktop. And so we'll hit the Windows key, type in CMD for command prompt, run as administrator, yes, and we'll open up disk partition through command prompt. Just nice and simple. So we'll just get it visible here. That's not very good. Alright, one moment. There we go. Okay. So now that we're into command prompt, we'll type DISKPART for disk partition, hit enter. And once we're in, we'll type list disk, enter, and here we have our disk 0 and disk 1. In this case, disk 0 is the hard drive, and disk 1 is the mSATA solid state drive. So we want to type select disk 0 for the hard drive, and once we're absolutely sure that we're done with the hard drive, we can type clean, hit enter, and this is a way to format the drive. Okay, disk part succeeded in cleaning the disk. Perfect. Type exit, exit again, and now we're ready to hopefully reuse this hard drive as a storage drive. So I'm going to go back to the other laptop and install an SSD and set up the hard drive that I just cleaned as a storage drive, and we'll see how long it lasts. Yeah, so that's a good way to recover files, reuse an old hard drive, extend the life on it, and at a pretty low investment. So overall for this client, it will cost around $40 for a new refurbished SSD, and fresh copy of Windows, and also their old hard drive set up as storage. So it's a pretty good deal, and hopefully this helped you out in some way. And if you need any clarification on anything, you can always leave a comment, and I'll probably get around to answering it. Or also, if you have any tips of your own, or if you notice anything wrong that I did, or any improvements that I can make, just feel free to let me know. It's all about the community, and I'm always into learning something new. Alright, thanks a lot for watching.